For those who have been directly involved in this field, those who have gotten professional or non-professional trainings, we know that its emergence in the present century as a new business approach has added new dimension to the activities of the world of economics. And it's also been in practice for centuries, but its new re-emergence has created new challenges and new opportunities, especially during and after the pandemic of COVID-19. Um, let's be quite fair in this. For this session, we would like to shed some light to those who probably have very little knowledge in it, but probably will also be interested and have the capacity to pick this up later, yeah, inshallah. So that's basically the intention of the session. All right, without further ado, we're just gonna start on the first question. Dr. Jabaria, okay. We're just gonna start. What is the definition of social entrepreneurship and how does it differ from a voluntary charity work? How do you best explain the differences between an entrepreneur and a social entrepreneur? You're muted, Doctor.
I just unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure and a privilege that you have invited me to speak for the topic which has been my passion for some years right now. Talking about the social entrepreneurship, I don't want to make it very complicated by giving you all those academic definitions which prevail. But because I believe that some of the students are also attending the session with this hope that they can turn themselves into social entrepreneurs in the future, inshallah. So for me, social entrepreneurship is any social value creating activity. Okay? And because so far across the world, though it has been focused that the social entrepreneur definition and the legal structure should be defined across the world, but many people confuses it with the charity work, with the not-for-profit organizations. But it is any social value-creating activity which should be independent of grants or donations. That there can be involvement of grants and donations, but it should not purely be on the basis of the charity. And they should introduce innovative solutions. Now, the solutions should not be those who have been existing for so long. Rather, those solutions which can tackle the social and environmental problems. For this context, I would like to tell you that whenever anybody works or do business, then there is a bottom line for that business. And what is that bottom line? That normally businesses or the conventional businesses work for the profit maximization. But when we talk about the social entrepreneurs, they ensure that there should be financial sustainability, but at the same time, there should be some social impact. So there is not just one bottom line which we talk about that is financial. Rather, the social impact is the most important thing. That whatever you are doing, it should have some social impact as your primary objective. So social enterprises are those social-driven businesses. So it's doing some good work, but it is like doing a business. So this is how we define the social entrepreneurs, because they are market driven and they pursue revenue generation. If you believe that, okay, if I am doing some good work and I should be taken as a social entrepreneur, then definitely not. It is not a social entrepreneurship. Until and unless you have a revenue generation stream with you that, okay, I'm earning this much revenue, you cannot qualify to become a social entrepreneur. Earlier, when the climate change was not that prevalent, so people were just talking about dealing with the evils of the society and societal impact. Now they are talking about the environmental sustainability. So we can say now there are triple bottom lines which one businessman needs to address: the social impact along with the environmental impact, and the third one is the financial sustainability. Going to define social, I believe that social entrepreneurship is fit there to those people who want to pursue any kind of venture creation, especially the social entrepreneurship. Then they can do so with the help of this. How it differs from charity work, then I would say that charities and donations, they create dependence among the people whose social issues are addressed. Because it takes the initiative away from the people. They will not take it initiative because you are doing it for them. So it's not a solution to problem. Initially, when we look at the social enterprises, the basic idea was to address the issues of poverty, everything. But now it's like social impact entails so many things like education, health, environmental sustainability. So it's not a solution. And then a problem which is solved by donations and grants, it will likely to come back. You cannot feel that, okay, it will not come back because the grants and donations gives a temporary.
Thank you so much, Dr. Javaria. I mean, another question in a very quick manner. Theoretically, what does it take to be a social entrepreneur in a very few words?
It takes you like an internal drive or a social vision because this is something which is prominent compared to the financial revenue generation. If you have this drive that I want to do a business and I want to maximize my value creation, like financial value creation, then it is not a social business. The social impact should be the top priority. If you think about improving the lives of the people around you, then you can be a social. And this is the primary objective which should like subside though that objective of revenue generation, though it is important, but it should not be the sole objective of the social. So if you have a feel for the society, for all the injustices which are going around, maybe it's in the field of health or education, or maybe it's from organic agriculture, anything like that. So here you can see that if you have that drive that, okay, I can contribute to the society and it is my responsibility, that if I have felt it, then I can be a social. Otherwise, it's not just any simple type of business that I want to do a business, so why not to jump into the cut the social entrepreneur?
Amazing. I mean, that was a very thorough explanation. So we hope that we have, shed some light on the definitions of social entrepreneurship and how, theoretically, how it differs from charity work itself. So we're moving on into Madam Anja. Madam Anja, hold on. I think we have a slide that we want to share. We're particularly very excited to know more about the current initiative that you're doing right now, and probably that, hang on, give me like time to share. All right. Madam Anja, well, probably that you can actually do a bit of introduction on the initiative you're currently doing, and what was the drive when you first started the initiative of your entrepreneurship, and probably you can actually enlighten us on the routes from the initial initiative out to your current state. So the mic is yours.
Sorry, the line is not clear.
If I can hear you well now.
Can you?
Yeah, yeah, we're doing you. Yeah, we can hear you. Go on, madam.
Um, sharing my slide.
Yeah, I'm sharing your slides already. And
Um, are you?
madam, we're losing you. Let me see what I can help you to. Madam, are you still there? We can actually see you perfectly. Is it possible for you to say something now? Right, it's okay. While Madam Anja is trying to secure the connection, so probably we could go to Miss Chen. While we're getting Madam Anja on board again. Miss Chen, you're young. You're 24. Just graduated recently. Would it be possible to just shed some lights? How do you see the inclination towards social entrepreneurship among today's youth, and how do you find it when you are trying to set up your very own SE?
Okay, thanks so much, Fatin. So I worked as a consultant before, and one of the study that we came across was that where it depicted like the behaviors of different generations, and they realized that millennials and Gen Z are very entrepreneurial and very purpose driven. So and then when I was a student as well at Sunday University, I realized that there was like every year there's a steady increase of like volunteering, giving back initiatives, and that is from the demand of interest from the students and from the younger people, and that's really amazing because these people are trying to make a social impact, and so that's why the university realized that as well, and set up Center for Social Business, for social entrepreneurship, which is an amazing initiative. So to your question, yes, there is I do see an inclination for the youth towards SE, or towards a purposeful, impactful, like initiatives, and as such. And as for your second question on like how was the journey of setting up Kakak, I would say it was very difficult because juggling with day-to-day jobs as well, and there were a lot of roadblocks on the way, but we're trying our best.
So probably what I mean, later we'll actually give some space for Madam Anja to come down and get the connection back. So is it possible to share one slide from Shen? Hang on. 1 second. Okay.
Yes, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that slide. So essentially, just to share with the audience a bit about what Kaka is. Essentially, what we're trying to do is like a one-stop digital platform to empower refugees with job opportunities, and at the same time help Malaysians get domestic help services from refugees. So imagine Grab. But to basically book domestic help services. It can be cleaning your house, spring cleaning, walking the dog, washing the car or something. Yeah, and then I can go to the next slide, Fatih. Yeah, and oh yes, yeah. Essentially, that's our mission. Yeah, and I think because of this pandemic that's happening right now, so we have fully poured in our resources and effort towards providing humanitarian aid to over 800 refugees right now. We are trying our best. It has been a little bit difficult, but thanks to all the partners that we have, we are trying to pull it through. Yeah.
Okay, moving on, is it?
Yeah. Oh, and this is basically just a chart of the beneficiaries that we have, given humanitarian aid to. The largest chunk, 32%, are refugees from Pakistan. Yeah, that's all from me, Fatih.
All right, thank you so
This is
much.
some photos.
Okay. Let me see whether Madam Anja is already on board. Madam, are you here?
Yeah. Line was cut off just now. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. I mean that's actually the beauty and the pain of having an online seminar. Yeah. So hold on. Yeah, glad to see you again, Madam. So probably we can share one slide that you have prepared with us for us.
Yeah, it's only 5 minutes. Short intro about what we do.
Yeah. Hang on. Give me 1 second to do this. All right, Madam. The floor is yours.
Okay. Hi. Good afternoon again. Thank you, Fatin. Thank you, UUM, for having me. All right. It's about Athena Empowers. We are an accredited social enterprise in Malaysia that empower young women with life skill education, and we fund this through the selling of our renewable sanitary product. And you can go to our website athenaempowers.com for more details. And this is now you can go to next. And this is the product itself. 100% made of fabric. It's a high performance fabric and very absorbent and eco-friendly product. It's all certified fabric that we use, and it's considered a premium product lah. Next, please. Okay, it all started when we won Malaysia Innovation Award in 2010, and since then, for the next 2 years, 2011, 2012, I received so many invitations to be appeared on television. Interview for newspapers, media, magazine, and radio. That's when we started to get a lot of people want to connect with us. And that's when in September 2012, we were approached by a group of missionary from Sabah, from East Malaysia, and asking if we could sponsor the product. But I was just started the business like 2 years, so it's hard for me to sponsor the product. But then there must be a reason why. So when I asked how many set do you want me to sponsor, so they said 33 girls. And I just closed my eyes. I sponsored all 33 girls, and that's when I started to ask for more questions. Who are these girls? What are their backgrounds? And if you go to the next slide, that's when I learned about these are among the girls who actually miss school, purposely absent from attending school when they are having period because they can't afford to buy one. Although here in Peninsula it's very cheap, we can get a set of 10 pieces sanitary pad at RM2 or 3 ringgit or 4 ringgit. But in Sabah and Sarawak it's more higher. And for these girls living in boarding school, and the boarding school is actually provided by the missionary. It's not like government boarding school like in Peninsula. And 5 ringgit for them, they could buy a bread that can last a week rather than they buy a sanitary product. So they use other alternative substitute to this to the sanitary product. But another problem is when it leaks and stain their school uniform when their classmates laugh at them. So this is when the self-esteem issues, and some of them can't really take the embarrassment, and either they decided not to go to school or completely return back to their villages. So I was really happy and glad that be able to sponsor to them. But for a long run, I cannot be like keep on continue like sponsor because I have business to take care of. I mean, need to make profit. I can't afford at that time to sponsor the pet. That's once when in January 2013, after I personally met with Prof Yunus, and that's when I learned about the business social business model. And officially in January also, I introduced girl empowerment campaign, where the purpose is just to educate people about the importance of keeping girls in school. The aim is that we want to keep girls in school by providing sanitary pads. But back then, I used the sponsorship donation model until July 2015, where we fully switched our business model to social enterprise. So we have experience from conventional business model to social enterprise. And if you go to next slide, what we can offer is that by providing the sanitary product, we actually have combat their monthly challenge, and much better is that it's a sustainable solution because our product have a long lifespan because it can be used from 5 to 7 years. That's when if we sponsor a 13-year-old girl, it can be used until they are 17 years old. And actually from our customers, some of them use up to 10 years because it's a very quality. So we have no worry about the issue of whether it's hygiene or not hygiene. If you go to the next slide, these are the team. We are all women. Even our staff are all female. Look, if you would like to come and intern with us, offer you to come and write to us if you want to, be in intern with us. Next slide, please.
So that That was like Powerpuff Girls, yeah. Like,
Okay, and since July 2015 to December 2019, we have actually distributed nearly 2,000 sanitary pad, where from the 5 years monitoring that we constantly doing every year with the beneficiaries, we have actually helped reduce nearly 500,000 of disposable pad to our landfill. And we have actually not only sponsored girls in Malaysia, but in Cambodia as well, as you can see from the numbers. And if you go to the next slide, that's when we have been approached. Okay, Athena have two revenue stream. One is from the product that we sell. The sanitary product, but the other one that we also sell is the services, where we have two type of product called Athena Empowers, where we train young girls about good menstrual hygiene practices, and also our newly like 3-year-old Athena Reach, where it's actually a woman economic empowerment program where we teach young women to be a social entrepreneur in their community. So if you go to the next slide, we have actually worked in since 2016 with the Ministry of Youth on educating the orang asli youth to become our batch of trainers to teach the girls about good menstrual hygiene. These are the women that we actually hire them to run program for the orang asli girls because they train them using their own local dialect, not using the like in bahasa or English, but their own dialect or language. And we found out it's more effective compared to if I personally train the girl, because for them to understand Malay language is quite hard. So that's when we work together with Ministry of Youth, train the first batch of 15 youth from three different tribes to teach the girls in their community. And the next slide is our first rural women economic empowerment with rural women in Sabah. And since then, we've been receiving a lot of inquiry from corporates for us to train the youth or women in rural communities how they can become a social enterprise, with the aim to measure the outcome of the program is to measure the saving that they make. It's not about the income, because these women, with or without education, they know how to make money, they know how to make things or sell things. But one thing that we noticed, that they don't have saving, not even bank account. So this is where we are monitoring them by start with saving of 10 ringgit. That's when banks started to approach us of how they can become partner to our program. So we have actually invited many corporations to work with us, because they can see how they can also help and benefit. It's like win-win partnership with our rural women communities. And for all the programs that we have run since 2015, have actually I received invitation from international organization for me to train how we actually experience that, from making an impact to young girls to scaling up our impact, where we run program for the women. So been invited to Amsterdam last year to train women from 33 countries on how they can scale up their impact. So you can create more revenue once you clearly understand about the impact that you create and how you can scaling up. And from there, I've been invited, if you go to the next slide, I was engaged by another international airline company to run a rural women economic empowerment in Tanzania, July last year. These are all the women, the head of women NGO in Zanzibar, how they can apply the social enterprise model so they can become more financial sustainability. I realized that there's a lot of okay, it's actually Turkish company, Turkish organization fund a lot of NGOs in Zanzibar, most probably because 90% of their communities are compared to those in Tanzania. And this is where we want to train them how they can become more financially sustainable and don't rely to grants. And because of all this work, Alhamdulillah, I've been recognized and invited to the White House last year, hosted by Ivanka Trump, to be with another 18 women leaders. 70 plus one male from 18 different countries that actually really work with on women economic empowerment. So, what I want to share here, if you go to the last slide, is that I always believe the entrepreneur, the entity or the soul of the business will look for its entrepreneur, because it's not about the good, about the product or services that you offer. It's all about the why and how you run it authentically, because you really clear about your purpose, or because without having this you will fail flat. That's what my own coach after being running business for almost 10 years.
Oh, that's really. But Madam Anja, it's really fascinating to see that, with your SE initiative and with the experiences for being 10 years in SE itself, traveling around the globe. So I was just wondering, what is your comment on the current SE movement in Malaysia, and how can the current youth contribute in this area?
Okay. I see a very positive movement in Malaysia, because we have very good support from our government since 2014, where when they start introduce the social enterprise blueprint in Malaysia. So and since then we have 200 plus E's, and with the introduction of the social enterprise accreditation, it has actually make more serious how government really want to support the SE communities in Malaysia. And I like the way that they put it into 4 criteria. Maybe I share a bit about the accreditation. How to get accredited is either you can pick one of the model where 51% of your net profit are channeled for your social costs. 35% of your operation costs are channeled for your social costs. Or you can have 51% of your manpower is from your target beneficiary groups. So for you, for those who, back to your question again, Fatin, when you want to start the SE, right?
How can actually they can actually contribute in this area, right? People like Shen, she's starting. She's actually I wouldn't say struggling, but she's actually putting in the effort to establish her very own kakak apps and stuff like that. And how do we actually help this kind of group?
Okay, what I can suggest is that to get mentors, there are many platform for you to get connected with the current social entrepreneurs, where I can say that some of them already like 3 to 4 years in the business now. They are surviving, which is good. So go and get them, go and see them, approach them to become your mentor. Because you need to learn a lot from them, especially that involve the business type that you want to do. If you want to do something with fashion, you can go to Cotton Sego, you can go to Batik Boutique, you can, if it got to do with refugees or F&B, you can go to Picha East. There are many SE that you can go and refer. Or if you're not in Malaysia, I think you can connect with any SEs in our neighborhood country like Singapore, Philippines. I think they won't hesitate to help you. I see so many my friends, social entrepreneurs. They are actually mentored so many young or youth who wish to start their own embark on business.
You're also one of the mentors at Magic, kan? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, madam. Okay, we're just gonna pass the mic to Shen. Shen, are you still there? No, because I just cannot see faces, right? I would really prefer face-to-face interaction. That would be more lively. But yeah, anyhow, it's kind of like amazing to at least know we're able to be here. Shen, probably that you want to enlighten us on the processes that you have gone through in establishing Kakak, and what are some reality checks, the pains and gains that you have encountered along the way, and how did you reach for support with the situation? Over to you, Shen.
Yeah. So I think it was a really difficult process. Also, it has just been established like less than a year ago, a few months back. I think to set it up, because it's a digital platform, it takes a lot of cost to set up a 100% fully functioning application, and coupled with for technology, we need there's like maintenance cost that is involved as well. And of course, in Malaysia, it is still illegal for refugees to work. So I think that's a really huge stumbling block that we have. And to reach out for support, there are so many and amazing, remarkable work done by like our partner refugee NGOs that we have met, just to like seek expertise from and learn from them. Not only so other than the so like some of them, like if I could name them, it would be Refuge for the Refugees, the Naganita, and the rest. And they're really, really amazing. So I think we're definitely going to contact them. We have met up with them and stuff, but we're definitely going to like accelerate it after this pandemic, because we still have a long way to go.
All right. So yeah, you can share again, because just now we were like kind of like halfway there. We would like to know who are the people behind Kakak and why Kakak at the very first place, why helping the refugee. It's really amazing. So we want to know more about that. Who are the people behind Kakak, and what is the business model that Kakak is taking out, and probably how do you plan to manage it with and between your co-founders? You want me to open your slides now?
Yes, please. Yeah, we'll quickly strip it through. Yeah.
So, give me 10 seconds, yeah?
Yeah, sure, no worries. Yeah. Maybe I can just share that. So essentially, it all started with the Axiata Young CEO Development Program, a program that Fatin and I are in. So I was really blessed and thankful to be able to, get a group of 6 amazing young working professionals from all different companies and backgrounds. So together, so for the Axiata program, there was a challenge that we had to do, and so the solution to the challenge was setting up Kakak. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Yeah, moving on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So essentially, what we want to do is we want to provide job opportunities so that refugees can, feed themselves, get money to pay their rent and everything. And we realized that a lot of refugees speak a quite quite decent English language, or sometimes Bahasa Melayu. And we realized also that they are really good at using like tech. They know how to book a Grab car. They have social media platforms, and there are also merchants out there who allow them to have a bank account, and they can take their own public transportation. So next slide. And so with that, there's approximately 180,000 refugees in Malaysia, and we realized that 57% of them are living in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. Yeah, could you click the next slide? And one more, yeah. So we did a market research, and we realized that there are 1.8 million number of households in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor, and when we amongst our respondents, 73% of them say that they need help with cleaning, they need help with domestic services, part-time domestic services, and 69% of them are willing to hire refugees. So that's when we see a potential to breach this gap and needs. Yeah. Next one. So how is Kakak? What is the business model? How are we making an impact? So if we take 1% of all refugees in Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, that will make up around approximately 1,000 refugees, and with each of them working 80 hours a month, and with each of them getting paid 25 ringgit an hour, which is the standard rate of cleaning services here in the city. Each refugee would get an income, or a monthly income of 1,700 ringgit, and that is higher than the minimum wage in Malaysia. Yeah, so essentially that's it. Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Okay. I've got one question from a student. I mean, it was just fitting in through. How do you answer this? For millennials, traditional working places doesn't make any sense. Neither do traditional business models. So we love flexible hours, spaces for motivation, and jobs which inspire us. That was the statement given by the student. So what would be your comment on this? Probably you can get Madam Anja and also Shen to comment. And what would be your advice to the youth out there?
maybe I can answer first. I think that because I'm a Gen Z myself, so I kind of relate a bit to that. So, and also back when I was a consultant, what I mentioned about how the millennials and Gen Zs are becoming more purpose-driven and entrepreneurial. So with that, companies would have to always, rebrand and redefine their purpose to appeal towards the younger generation. But I think in a general sense, I think that's really good that more youth are getting into this, trying to, be entrepreneurial and be a social entrepreneur. I think my advice would be, if, you got what it takes, unleash that creativity and, make the social impact that, because the world needs more of that.
Amazing, because we know that you've got like long hours of working, and sometimes like, knowing you personally, 3-4 a.m. you're still emailing people on the projects and stuff like that. So I guess looking into perspective for a millennial yourself, but Madam Angela, do you have anything to comment on that particular statement when about these millennials traditional working places not making any senses to the younger generation?
Yeah, because in Athena we hire millennials definitely, but we have to be thinking like what they like, and that's the reason why we allow our employee to work from home. Of course, due to the COVID, but even before that, they actually work from the place that they prefer to work, like co-working space. We are, as long as they are like genuine, because our values are integrity and respect, so that as long as you commit to the normal working hours like 9 to 5, regardless where you are, but that the task given need to be completed, that within 9 to 5 you are answerable to your email or call. So it's okay, we don't want to like ask so many questions, but as long as you complete your task, we are happy. If we are happy, you are also happy.
I'm still very young, by the way, so probably if my boss could actually loan me to you for a while. Okay, that's another thing. I was supposed to get a joke earlier. Thank you, madam. That's really amazing. Thank you, Shen. Dr. Javaria, we have a question for you. Working as an academician in Bahauddin Zakaria University, Pakistan, and we know that you have also spent several years in Malaysia. We would like to ask you, what is your observation regarding the encouragement and the assistance given by the university authorities, and of course, the academics themselves, towards supporting the effort of students towards social entrepreneurship? So maybe you can have some Malaysian versus Pakistani perspectives on that.
Okay, Fatin. First of all, if you talk about comparing the context of Malaysia with Pakistan, because I have spent quite a number of years in Malaysia, we need to understand that the economic conditions of both the countries are very, very different. Okay, if we talk about the population, even in Pakistan, and what is like with Malaysia. So in Malaysia, it's around, if I'm not wrong, then this is 32.5 million. And in Pakistan, it is 212. And if you look at the poverty rate, then poverty rate is 30% in Pakistan, which is comparable with like 0.6% in Malaysia. So social entrepreneurship cannot be same for both of the countries. Definitely, we all are bound with the United Nations Sustainable Development Programs, where Malaysia is aiming at becoming, entering into a high income economy, and it is like, if we compare it economically, it is far ahead of Pakistan. But if we look out to the unemployment is like around 5% in Malaysia, but the youth in unemployment is almost 10%. So definitely Malaysia needs to put in this effort towards steering its youth towards the social entrepreneurships. And why is it so? Because as we have studied in books, and certain theories also says that whenever you want to go for the economic development, the roles of universities along with the government and institutions, everything should be in place. So that universities can definitely play a very important role. And as far as this, from where I have done my PhD, being associated with the University of Tara, Malaysia, which is in Kedah. The Kedah and Kelantan are considered to be those two states which are like the most poorest of among the rest of the Malaysian states. And as far as the social enterprises are concerned, then most of them are headquartered in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. there is like, if we look at the percentage, I don't know if how many of you have gone through the British Council report, which they issued in 2018 about the social enterprise structure in Malaysia. There are almost 20,000 plus social enterprises, but they are not headquartered in this KIDA or the other states, which is a must. Okay, because now being the very responsible university in this state, I believe the responsibility on the UUM increases, and especially the CEDI for empowering the students and giving them the social entrepreneurship as an alternative career. Because due to this COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 instances, we can see that somehow the economies of all the countries, not just particularly Malaysia, they have got a big jerk, and they need to take this attention away from being the job seeker to job. And but yeah, so but with these social enterprises, again, as I have been education field myself, there are lots of things in which Malaysia has got advantage over Pakistan. First of all, the biggest support, which Madam Anja has also told, that the government is supporting the social enterprise, so, especially once they issued that blueprint, the Malaysian social enterprise blueprint in 2014, which was again re-established in 2018. So it is like continuation of the previous government policies, which continued, and the government is very much enthusiastic. But when you talk a country with 30% poverty and a country where the poverty is around 0.6%, the concerns will be different. Here you can talk about like introduction of a sanitary pads for the women, because they are suffering from that menstrual poverty, but you cannot talk the same about Pakistan, because here the issue is about absolute poverty, dealing with the hunger and clean water and this sanitation. So the issues are very basic. The health, education. So these are the basic issues which the people here in Pakistan are struggling. And for that reason, government role is very important. And apart, definitely, if this is a public sector university, as I'm also working in a public sector university, so far our country has made a social enterprise department under one of the ministry. But certain practical aspects they are lacking. That those practical aspects where they can really help them. Now the question comes that how can they develop, like what can universities do? Universities' role is very important. First of all, they can conduct certain training. As per that report of the British Council, where they interviewed a number of social entrepreneurs from Malaysia, they said that lots of people did not know that. I mean, they are doing that social impact thing with a business mindset, but they don't know that we qualify to become a social entrepreneur, which is very important as compared. So this type of awareness sessions, it is very important, very, very important. And if we talk about this awareness, apart from this general awareness, you can conduct, especially the universities can conduct certain training programs. You are like blessed to have like almost 54% females who are participating in the social entrepreneurial ventures, which is quite high as compared to like 1/5 of the females in the social entrepreneurial landscape of Pakistan. Here we are paralyzed by a number of religious and cultural factors where still the females are struggling with their roles when they go out and work, because it is not considered something very acceptable, apart from few cities which are much developed and the number of the working females is increasing. But Malaysia is like blessed to have independent women, and you should cheer that. And yes, it's not considered as a stigma. If you're working from like 9 to 5, or even if you want to work from 9 to 9, they can understand that women can play a role in their economic development. So university can conduct training programs, the certain workshops, like you have got people like Shen, Madam Anja, who can tell them, like she has conducted a number of training sessions, and it's quite impressive to see that she has reached out to lots of global platforms where she has given such training sessions to the other the people from around the globe. So you can arrange them, you can call them, and they can have one-to-one session with the students. And initially, I feel this thing that after the COVID-19, somebody asked about that the millennials do not want to work in that strict and rigid work environment where you have to come to office and spend 9 to 5 hours like we used to work. We are the older generation. But yes, after COVID-19, the things will be different. definitely will be different, and it will not be coming to the old normal. Rather, we have to adjust ourselves to the new. Every day we get the news that the Facebook has considered that by 2030 they will like give this option to almost 80% of their working people, that they can work from home. So we need to understand the digital economy. We need to understand that, okay, this is very much acceptable. This is an alternate way of doing the work. And the important thing is that you need to get to work, which should be done. And then there can be certain business incubation centers. I don't know that if you have really started working on that and you have an operational business incubation center, because since the time I was, I don't think that we had an active business incubation center who was working like providing a space and giving all that infrastructure necessary to develop it into a venture. But specifically, if you look at the good universities around the globe, in different developed countries, they have got a separate center for social entrepreneurship. Okay,
well, Malaysia is actually trying to establish the same thing, especially at CEDI. We have a union who's actually gearing towards that. We're also getting support by the KPT, the Ministry of Higher Education. So I think it's really amazing to see how SE is really getting place in everyone's heart, yeah, especially towards during this kind of situation nowadays. Yeah.
Okay, you talked about Magic Social Enterprise as well, where Madam Anja maybe is dealing there as an advisor. So it is also giving certain accelerator programs for social enterprises. So you can go for a number of options. You have got a number of options. The only issue is that you need to execute those things turn by turn and educate the students right from the start what it means to be a social entrepreneur and how it is differentiated from the conventional entrepreneur who is there for wealth creation. Also, many people in Malaysia, they feel that whenever they talk about earning money, here there is like a collision with the social impact. Because if you're talking about doing good and then you talk about, okay, I want to earn money, you believe that people will stop looking at you the way they were looking at you before. They will believe that you are an opportunistic and person who is trying to create wealth. But you need to increase that acceptance within the society that it is very much okay that you should earn money, because now you cannot rely on that NGO type model where you are depending on grants and donations. It is decreasing with the passage of time. So many NGOs have even turned to the revenue generation streams, that okay, we cannot always get this, and they, after getting bankrupt or they were getting out of the business, so they have turned themselves into revenue generation organizations that is becoming social. So many people who believe that their mission statement is colliding with the revenue generation thing. So you need to increase this awareness among the students, especially by conducting a number of sessions. The universities can offer a certain business plan competitions, but this time this business plan competition should be exclusively focused on creating a social impact. That what are those who can create a social and environmental impact, and they take into consideration that. Like recently, I've been teaching the course of entrepreneurship here in my university as well, because I don't believe that I'm an expert who is doing all these things. Still, I'm in the learning phase and in the process of learning lots of new things. I have recently assigned, because we faced that jerk of almost a break came where we could not just teach the students, and there was a semester that was running already. So I just, before that COVID-19 episode started, I allocated them with a business plan competition, that you have to come up with a business plan idea. But after the things resumed and we have resumed our classes, and still we are going through very, very tough time of COVID-19, the number of cases and the number of daily deaths toll is rising in Pakistan. Still we are going through the peak. So I have now just connected that business plan competition with the post-COVID-19 business plan competition. That after COVID-19, the things are not normal. Now you have got a new normal. So with this new normal, what are the possible business opportunities you can see, and how you can convert them into a workable business plan? And they have to work on every minute. So as a university academician, I believe that we can do a lot of things.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Ja. All right, I have a question. As students say, I have been involved in a lot of charity projects during my undergraduate, especially in Enactus UUM. And now, upon graduation, I want to start my very own social entrepreneurship. I have an idea, but I do not know how to kickstart it. So what should I do first, and to whom should I get consultation on this? So probably Madam Anja or Shen could give some enlightenment on that.
Okay, my advice is you have to understand social enterprise is totally two different. Okay, one is you want to create a social impact to the community or environment, but one is enterprise business element. You need to judge this in these two words. So find if you want to do a business, I mean really understand what is the business, what are what are the values, and you need to know how you are making money in this business. And the social part, actually don't have to worry so much about the social part, because as long as you clear, you know the purpose of you want to run a business and become a social entrepreneur. My advice is focus on the business. But if you don't have these two experience, what I advised earlier, go and get mentors, learn from them. If possible, work with them just to maybe gain some experience. You cannot simply like have an idea and immediately want to jump into business, because idea without doing, without do any validation to get traction will become a wish list. Once the moment you have idea, go and ask experts like mentors. What I mean here is those that really doing the business. If you do a business in sanitary pad, you can come and look for me. If you want to do something in F&B, go and meet Masala Wheel, Picha Eat. There's so many SEs in this category. So idea is idea, but you need to do a validation exercise. Once you do a validation exercise, you have traction whether people want to buy your product or not. I mean, maybe you want to get their feedback, because that's the most important element. You need to have take to know that whether your business is can be sustained or not. Then the social part, the moment you have money, that's definitely you contribute on your social cost. So social cost is another topic that where I will also like to talk about. But focus on the business first. How you're going to make money from that business in order to do good.
All right. So, Madam Anja, you are one of the mentors at Magic yourself. Uh, I mean, can you share some common challenges, problems of social entrepreneurship?
Okay.
What are the
Yeah, I love to to share about that. Okay, common challenges faced by the young or early startup in enterprise, or even normal conventional businesses, is about grant, or fund, or on funding. Again, like today you can immediately start any businesses without capital. For example, that's the most important validation. Whether you have idea, even you want to sell a pen, you can either sell it at $1 a pen, or 10 ringgit, $10 a pen, or $1,000 a pen. But you have, what you have to do to have in mind is the value. It's not about selling product, but you are selling value, because the moment you attract a customer buying it, you will give value to other people, or to your community or beneficiaries. So it's all about selling value, not so much about I mean you are so much worried about the capital or funding to run your business. But because if you have a good business idea, business plan, and you manage to sell and get money, definitely there are many channels, or probably angel investor or venture capitalists want to invest in your company. Like for example, like my company started way back in 2009, 2010, but 2012 when I full time running the business, I need to make traction. I need to make sure that I have sale. I never make any loan, because for all the money that I receive, use it to buy raw materials. Until 2015, when we decided to change the model to social enterprise, we start to pitch to investors. So our capital actually coming from the venture capitalists, not from bank. We don't do any loan, except now we make loan because we want to grow bigger, and to have a bigger manufacturing plant to produce our product. Unmute. You need to unmute first.
I'm sorry. I know I'm very excited listening to you. That was like really amazing because a lot of students, and I have to be very honest, sometimes we do have the joke that in order for you to help the community, okay, where do you actually get the funding? Probably I need to marry a royalty to support my business. So basically, so yeah, it's actually shed a lot of lights now. So at least we could find a way to kickstart the idea so that the ideation does not just remain an ideation till the end. All right. I think we have what's the time now? Oh, it's 4:05. Actually, we have a lot of things to ask. I think can we just like, pick out another question before we open the floor to our Enactus members and also students who are on board to ask they're getting very excited to verbally speak to the speakers. Hang on. Okay. I think we can actually pick up this one question that was saying that they were asking, there's one student with us, how can your business respond at the speed of COVID-19, especially your crisis management plans? Surely businesses are being affected. So how do you actually handle with this?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why the most important thing is to have an entrepreneurship mindset. Because when you have the mindset, you won't panic in whatever situation. And for us, we have to think very fast because we have problem in as early February when we are not able to bring materials from Japan, Korea, and China due to the pandemic which already started there. And in order for us to do that, it takes some time, and the logistic fee are like 5 or 10 times higher than the normal one. So we have to do what can we do best during this situation. So we make a face mask, cloth face mask, and uh, we make a prototype. We didn't do the mass production. We just do prototype, and I started to contact all our clients and say that, hey, just to update you that we are now making a face mask, and for us to continue support our beneficiary, to continue run our program. We do appreciate your support, and Alhamdulillah, among them are like Air Asia. They do support, and we have many corporate companies that actually support us by order the face mask for their employee or for them to resell whatsoever. But we managed to sell whatever that we offer to them. And because I always believe that whether pandemic or not pandemic or whatever, I want to let people, I want to to inform people out there that this crisis, we are actually facing a pandemic crisis. Pandemic crisis, not like we are dealing with. I don't know whether we are have recession or not, but as an entrepreneur, don't make yourself suddenly become a economist or politician. As an entrepreneur, what you need to do is to make how to survive and make more money out of it. And we are currently facing pandemic crisis, not financial crisis, and the money is still there, but you need to know how and be creative how to get that money comes to your company so that you can continue grow even during this crisis.
Right, interesting. All right, so Madam Anja, thank you so much. Shen, Dr. Javaria, can we now give the space for the students to verbally interact to you? So Enactus members or anybody on WebEx, would you like to unmute yourself and ask few questions directly to our speakers? Would appreciate if you can actually open your camera, on your camera, and just unmute yourself. Yeah. Hi, Zakira. Anything?
Can we, before we move on to the Q&A session, can we have a really quick photo sessions?
Oh yeah, okay. Enactus loves photo sessions. Okay.
So do I.
So can I ask everyone to open your camera for a while?
Yeah, please switch on your camera if it's possible, everyone.
Wafa will do the taking photos.
Yeah,
are you here,
everyone
Wafa?
on WebEx, would it be something? Could you just please switch on the camera? So let me introduce you to my entire team of Enactus members. There's also students from our subjects and stuff like that. Oh, hi everyone. Okay. You can take the lead, Zakira.
Actually, like Wafa are taking it.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Can we have people to switch on your camera?
Ready? Okay, I'm gonna screenshot everyone's photo. Okay.
Feel
Can everyone hear me? Or is it a bit lagging?
loud and clear.
All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, done.
All right,
Okay,
thank you very much.
Miss.
I think Inatus actually the unit in this department who loves photograph session so much. Okay, now we're actually allowing the students to verbally interact with the speakers. Take your chance now, people. Ask question. Not just the students. Anybody on board on Cisco is on WebEx. You can just unmute yourself and just ask anything that you wanna ask to our beautiful ladies. I thought I saw one question. Is Alex here? You want to ask anything? Or probably we can actually read some of the questions. Anybody would like to verbally interact to our speakers? Oh yeah, maybe you just scroll through things. We have. Oh, okay. There's one question. Madam Anja, to Madam Anja, are the sanitary pads subsidized, or you actually use money from other income streams to sponsor the product for these girls?
Okay, since we are audited as an social enterprise, we need to fall into one of four criteria. So for Athena, we actually use 35% of our operation cost to sponsor program and sanitary products to our beneficiaries, which are among the rural communities in Sabah and Sarawak, as well as Orang Asli. And sometimes we do sponsored to girls from the PPR. Yeah, so 35% of our operation cost actually.
So much. Moving on to the next question, maybe to Shin or Dr. Javaria. What would be the top 3 skills needed to be a successful social entrepreneur?
Do you want me to answer or Shin?
Yeah, maybe both Shin and Dr. Javaria. Anybody can just have a go.
Okay. Let me tell you, when we talk about the conventional entrepreneur and a social entrepreneur, apart from the fact that there are a number of differences which differentiate them both, there are a number of similarities. That if you want to be a successful social entrepreneur, the first and foremost important thing is commitment to your passion. Whatever you are doing and what you are thinking of doing, you need to be committed to the passion. That every time you are thinking about that, how I'm going to make it happen, and then you should have high amount of energy. You should have resilience, like Ma'am Anja has already told you that even despite this fact that we are like passing through a pandemic, you should think like an entrepreneur. And the most critical success factor within an entrepreneurial personality is the risk taking. That you should be risk taker and you should be able to endure the risk which is associated with owning a business venture, be it a social entrepreneur or a conventional, because in both type of entrepreneurship, you have one thing in common, that you are earning something to support. The business model is not like the revenue generation is there in your business. And you need to be, just think out of the box. Don't think about those traditional things and replicating the same solutions, that okay, if it's like applicable in other countries, so it can be applicable. All the economies are unique, the countries are unique, and you need to tailor made the solutions. When you will tailor made the solution as per the needs of a particular economy, then you should be able to address that problem for which you wanted to create the solution. So it should be innovative, at least creative, within your own environmental context.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Shan, I think you have a fan there. Someone asking, Miss Shen, any example of social entrepreneurs that you really look up to, that you take them as your role models?
I think one of them is actually a UUM student, a social enterprise called Ibupreneur. Yeah, I think I really look up to them because for their how do I put it? Like the mission and the purpose is really amazing, and I see the work that they do. I really look up to them. Yeah. And I think to answer the previous question on like what are the top three skills by Wei Jie, I think I would say I think the top three skills would probably for me as a student. I'm not a serial entrepreneur or anything yet, maybe, but I would say the top three things is research, communication, and maybe branding. But also, I want to highlight that maybe besides this top three skills, I would say maybe as a like a Gen Z, as a person who can relate to students in the university or the younger generation. I would say that maybe I would love to like the values that I look up in a social entrepreneur would be empathy, grit, and humility. Yeah.
Okay, then amazing. So there's another question and very few words. Maybe Madam Anja, you could actually recap again the function of Magic in actually helping the social entrepreneurship by giving mentoring and stuff like that. And what are other agencies that you can reach out to support as well?
Okay. Magic, like as well we know, when they started, they were under Ministry of Finance until June 2018, where they are moved to Ministry of Entrepreneur Development, and recently now under MOSTI, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, where their focus are now more on social innovation, not so much on social enterprise, and social enterprise will still be under Ministry of Entrepreneur Development. So we don't know what's the latest direction, but from the recent grant announcement made by the government, that it will still be handled by Magic, because it's like for the short term 3 to 6 months, it's a matching grant for all SE startup that would like to apply for the matching grant which is handled by Magic. So for the long term, I wouldn't know yet, because it's now, since they have shifted to different ministry and different focus more into social innovation. So hopefully we can know what's the latest update by probably Q4. I don't know, because totally now everything changed just recently. But I'm still however, I'm an active member of CSET, Chamber of Social Entrepreneur Development. It's a registered NGO. We founded since June 2016, where we are a combined social entrepreneurs. I mean and also community builder, where our main role is to support the government in terms of policy making, and also the voice for social entrepreneurs in Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay, Madam, there's actually a lot of support, right? So it's, I mean, those people are there, but it's just sometimes that we do not know whom to reach, right? Thank you, Madam. Okay, I have a soalan cepu mas now. Have you ever given up on your initiative in in actually moving forward with your SE, to both Shen and Madam Anja? Honestly, have you ever felt like giving up?
No, because when I decided to make an entrepreneur, I already have clear goal and vision what I want to achieve, and Athena is only a vehicle, because my aim, my vision is to become an impact investor to help thousands of social entrepreneurs all over the world. That's my aim, my mission. So that I'm happy now that Athena is run by our CEO, which this is what the I think every entrepreneur's dream, where you don't want to be in the business, you want to be on the business, you want to see your business run by another competent people. So so that we be able to focus to grow bigger and to help more people by like Athena's vision is our own foundation, so we can help more women and girls from the profit that we make from our product. We don't want to rely for any like, I don't want to say like grant, but we want to like use our own money, our own profit to run our own foundation. And for me myself, I want to become an impact investor. I believe with the model, and I believe that I mean, like people now, like future consumer, like you guys, the millennial, are more attracted to socially conscious or value driven company. So that I think it's a way of doing things. Like, I mean, it's a new way of running a business. I mean, you're gonna have a new type of consumer, a young consumer who are more attracted to the value that you offer. Not so much on your brand, not so much on. I mean, we do have people who are like really want to have a good lifestyle, want to wear I mean lavish brand, but still we have 63% of young consumer aged 43 and below who are still want to buy from a value of socially conscious organization.
All right, Shen, anything to add in?
Yep. So I do feel like every day has been so like busy, you know, like it's really been hectic. So honestly, yes, I do feel like, you know, sometimes like I question myself like, why am I killing myself every day, sleeping so late at night? But when I think back on the purpose and I think back about how it's so amazing and all the, you know, the impact that it can create, I think that keeps me like going. And that's, I think, hopefully great. But of course, I do see the future whereby we do need more help. Yeah, definitely. There's lots of things to do and lots of things to learn.
Interesting, amazing. Because knowing Shen personally, I know that she doesn't get enough sleep. So like getting 3 hours of sleep is probably a privilege for someone like Shen. Okay, okay, now we have a lot of questions, by the way. Would it be possible for us to email each speaker, and you know, when you have free time, you could actually respond and actually give back to the people who ask, right? Anybody would like to ask verbally? I'm still opening the room for you to talk to our speakers verbally.
Yeah, we have 10 minutes.
Can I ask a question?
Yep, yep.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Akmal. I'm from UKM. So I would like to ask about how do you guys measure the impact on your social enterprise? So for example, like Kakak. So after like a few years operating your social enterprise, so then how would you measure the impact? And then what's next? It's not only for Kakak, I mean like for the other social enterprise as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So because we have not fully run the app, so I can tell you like what have we done, and that is that you know like to measure that impact. But I do see a foreseeable whereby the impact to how to measure impact would be how many refugees that we have provided the job opportunities from, how much each refugee earned from it. Like is that money you know like it is enough to sustain the family? You know, basically put food on the table. And of course, on scaling it up, so other than the app and the humanitarian aid that we run, last year we had a collaboration to basically, because one of the refugees mentioned that she wants to, one of the Syrian refugees actually mentioned that they want to have a public speaking workshop. So then we like, it's essentially what I feel that we can do is always to connect people and share opportunities. And, you know, if that's what they want, so we brought in like amazing Toastmaster speakers to become like mentors. And, you know, they did a very amazing public speaking workshop and all. I think that this can go in a lot of ways. Like it can be also, you know, perhaps Kakak venturing into, you know, collaborating with Athena Holdings to, you know, provide, you know, to basically eradicate menstrual poverty amongst the female refugees as well. So I think it can go in a lot of ways. And yeah, something like that.
All right, Manamanta, you want to add in more?
Okay. I want you to learn about because for me to explain it will be quite long, but just search about theory of change, because to measure impact will take some time for you to know whether it is really impact. And you need to know that impact could be positive, could be negative. And you need to be clear about the outcome that you create, because there are short-term and long-term outcome, and there are also intended outcome and something that you not intended outcome. And be clear of the activity that you want to do, and what's the outcome. And like for us, Atina, we measure using SROI, social return on investment, because we are three of us are all trained how to use that tool to measure our impact. And because we have impact investor, we are responsible to give our impact to our the report to our investor as well, to Magic, since they accredited. They need to audit our company, and and we need to do that. So measuring impact is something that when you see change in behavior, like for the woman, it's more about the income. The short term outcome will be the saving that they make. That's because we have different outcome for different activities. For the woman economic empowerment, where the main outcome is for us to see the saving, they made saving. But after a year, what we not intended at all is when they be able to do higher purchase, to buy a car. We thought that they're gonna have more saving, but in the end, because they have that credit identity, they are able to make a higher purchase loan to buy a car. So, and you know that the impact will be bigger, because you have already taken measure of this outcome, the short term outcome.
Amazing. All right. Probably you can have another one or two question.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hello, hi. My name is Shaira. I'm from Net. Might be this going to be a last question. I don't know. What is your hope and your last word for, because we have a lot of audience, especially from UUM, because we are now undergraduate. So, what is your hope or any last word for us?
Last word lah, eventually.
To encourage us to join the social entrepreneurship. Sorry.
That's
Yeah.
it's a real meaning.
Okay. I just start.
Reminders.
For me, it's simple. Before you talk about what's your vision, what's your goal, or where you want to go, you answer these two questions, and try to answer these two questions with less than a minute, less than 1 minute. Okay, the first question, what do you like? Second question, what do you want? The moment you can answer these two questions in less than 2 minutes, then you can talk about what's your vision and goal. But prior to that, answer these two questions, because I've been like asking so many youth, they don't even know what they like, they don't even know what they want. Because you cannot be specific. You cannot be like planning for a big vision, big goal, if you yourself don't know what's your like or want, and what to talk about purpose. The moment you know what you like or want, then you know what's your purpose, and that's when you can start visualize to know what's your vision and plan your goal.
All right. So one last question before we conclude.
Hi, I'm actually. So New Zealand government is now tackling period poverty with free sanitary products for all school girls, right? So our government, Malaysian government, take this initiative as well. I would like to know all the speakers' point of views in this. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe the way the government in New Zealand is, we cannot make it equal to Malaysia, but like if you go and read about Maslow hierarchy of need, our government is like more into the three basic needs like food, protection, security. Probably menstrual product is not under these three basic needs yet, but it could be NGOs or corporations who can actually together to provide the products, to provide the essential product to to the underprivileged girls, or maybe to all girls in Malaysia. But I do hope that one day we will able to be like New Zealand, and by then our economy also as good as New Zealand. So take your active role now as a student, since you are the future leader, future minister, I assume, and find do find ways, put yourself as a minister, as a prime minister, for example. What will you do if you become the next prime minister? Do start thinking what you can do now. Say in 10 years time I become a prime minister of Malaysia. What the first thing I need to do now in order for me um to to do whatever I dream to do in next when I become a prime minister. So I always believe that you want to create future from future, not create future from the past. Yeah, that's my sharing.
All right. So probably another two speakers would like to add in more to Hema's question yourself.
May I? Your question that in New Zealand they have started giving the sanitary pads to the all the females who attend the school. Maybe in the future, because now the government of Malaysia is also emphasizing a lot on social entrepreneurship, though, but it does not enjoy a very long history. First of all, when the most important thing is that apart from the lack of funding, which already Manja has identified, there is a lack of legal definition and recognition of social enterprise as a business entity. Unless the government is able to identify it that okay, social entrepreneurship is a separate business entity which we need to give a legal status, you cannot go for defining the goals and objectives of that sector. And moreover, if you compare it with not everything, if you look at the population of the New Zealand,
Okay, we're lagging. Yeah, are you still there, or the connection is been cut short?
Yeah.
This thing. Okay, Fatin, can you hear me? I think I got this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I believe that you cannot compare New Zealand with Malaysia. New Zealand has got a population of just 5 million, and the Malaysian population is like 32.5 million. So you cannot compare that, okay, the same rule can be applied anywhere, that if New Zealand government is offering these facilities to the population at large, so the same can be applied in Malaysia. Though the government is very positive, they are supporting a lot and a lot of support to the social enterprises, but giving this sector legal status is the first and foremost important thing. And maybe in the future, in the coming years, we can see such kind of facilities coming to the population.
All right, thank you. Ishan, anything else you'd like to add in before we conclude?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Fatin.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, ladies. I think the time is very jealous of us. It's 4:30 right now. So before we go, probably I get to see that there's actually a lot of questions. And to be fair to everyone, probably I'm just gonna email or WhatsApp all the speakers the questions. And when you have free time, maybe you could accommodate to some of the question, and I'll forward back the question maybe on Facebook. CEDI's Facebook. All right. So as a conclusion, there are some takeaway points that we managed together. We started off, talking about the three core elements in social entrepreneurship, which are people, planet, and profit. So in short, SE is about doing business that benefits the owners financially, but at the same time, benefits social and environment. What Ms. Shen and Madam Anja's project, right? Well, to be very honest, it's not easy to become an SE, a social entrepreneurship. That is not about just thinking about profit and normal business do, or just think about how can we help people as a charity organization do, but it's actually rather how could we achieve those goals at the same time, yeah? And besides earning for ourselves, we need to also think about giving and how could we sustain financially so that these could be extended or at least sustained for quite some times, yeah? But I strongly believe yeah, inshallah, based on our panelists' experience, like Madam Anja, if your intention is noble and pure, inshallah, God will show the way, definitely. So actually, there are a lot of people out there who cares and wanted to do the same thing, but probably have yet to be given some lights on how to kickstart their noble intention. And I guess I would just say that Malaysians are very lucky. We receive a lot of support from the governments and independent body like Dr. Jabaria, who are also supporting this notion because she's been living in Malaysia for several years. And you know that our policy and Malaysia's plan is also moving towards shared prosperity. And I believe that this would spur more SE of the future, right? And to quote back to what Madam Anja has said, it's about connecting why and how. Of course, we need to understand why we want to become an SE first. Then only finding ways of how we can actually do it. And when we talk about business, also need to answer what questions, what product, what values, and etc. So I think that's basically the takeaway points. Thank you so much to our ladies. Thank you, Dr. Javaria, all the way from Pakistan, imported all the way from Pakistan. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Anja, for spending your time. And of course, Shen, thank you so much for hopping in despite your sleepless nights, right? So thank you. And for UUM staff and students, I'm going to portray again the QR attendance code so that you can actually scan now. All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Nice meeting you all. Okay.
Um, sorry.
Fatin. Okay, Fatin, Shen, and Madam Manja, and Dr. Javaria, thank you very much on behalf of CEDI. I hope that this program will be giving the students an insight of what actually social entrepreneurship is.
Thank you. That's our director, Dr. Chandra. Thank you, Dr. Chandra, for all the support.